Steelers have massive trade rumors incoming as Deebo Samuel confirms that he would love to come play for Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. My name is Peyton Kleppe. Real quick, if you guys are not subscribed to our channel, click that subscribe button down below. It's going to help me grow this channel moving forward. The NFL 2025 season starts today for the Pittsburgh Steelers as the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 40-22 yesterday. Got to give the hats off to them. I'm in South Jersey, so a lot of people around me love the Eagles, so got to give it to them. Anyways, let's get into the Steelers news. This is the Steelers channel. Enough about the birds. 2025 starts now, Steelers fans. Let's go. So let's get right into this news. So first of all, Deebo Samuel, he has confirmed that he would love to get traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. A few days ago, Deebo came out and said that he would like to be traded from the 49ers. The Niners had a really tough year last year. They really fell off after going into the Super Bowl and losing to the Chiefs the year before. Brock Purdy didn't play well. They had a lot of defensive injuries, a lot of coaching issues. But, Deebo Samuel's, he's had enough. He's lost 2 Super Bowls. And he actually has come out and said that, I believe earlier he's came out and said that that second Super Bowl really, really hurt him. You work so hard in the NFL to win games, to make it to the Super Bowl, and to lose 2 Super Bowls in the fashion that the 49ers did is really tough for him. So he wants out. And earlier on today, about 2-3 hours ago, he said he would love to get traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is huge news for us because previously, the year before, we actually tried to trade for his buddy right there, Brandon Ayuk. We were unable to get the trade done, sadly, even though there was a ton of speculation and a ton of news about that. And so the Niners secured Ayuk. They signed him to a big deal, a few years, and big money. But unfortunately for Ayuk, he actually, I think, tore his ACL or got hurt early in the season last year. So he's definitely got a long road to recovery, and the Steelers might have dodged a bullet for not trading for him. But, Deebo Samuel's the more proven veteran out of the 2 receivers for the Niners. He's had plenty of great years. He had, I believe in 2021, he had 1,400 receiving yards. And he's definitely broken a lot of records at receiver because you can use Deebo Samuel in a lot of different ways. You can put him in the backfield and use him as a running back. You can put him in receiver. You can put him at slot. You can do a lot of things with Deebo Samuel. He's almost like a gadget guy. He is kind of old, though. He's like 31, I believe. He's in the same range as Cooper Kupp, another name who's been rumored to come to the Steelers via trade. But we'll see. I mean, I prefer Deebo Samuel a lot more than Cooper Kupp. Deebo's definitely been more productive and more healthy the past couple years. Not saying Cooper Kupp is worse than him. Cooper Kupp's had probably a better receiving statistical career than Deebo Samuel. But like I said before, Deebo Samuel is very expendable. You can use him in a lot of different ways. You can put him at the running back position. You can put him at wide receiver. This guy has had, I think, 8 to 10 rushing touchdowns in a season. And, with the Steelers, with all their offensive questions at the moment, he really could be a help for us moving forward, especially at that number 2 receiver position next to George Pickens. Obviously, George Pickens is our clear number 1 receiver, although he did struggle last year and he struggled at the end of the season. It's also, we have a young wide receiver core. The oldest guy in the locker room, I believe, last year was Mike Williams, one of them. And we traded for him mid-season, so you can't really expect him to be a huge leader in that locker room. But if we add a guy like Deebo Samuel, he definitely could help George Pickens out. You give him another buddy in the locker room, another all-pro buddy, Pro Bowl buddy. This guy's been proven. He's a veteran. He can be a leader in our locker room. He wants to win. He knows what it takes to get to a Super Bowl, but he's never won a Super Bowl. So he definitely can give us that hard work and definitely, push George Pickens to be better and maybe help him mature a little bit because last year was rough with George Pickens. He had a lot of up and down last year. I think that would be the perfect sentence to call his year last year. He started off super hot. He was destined to have over 1,000 yards, but later on in the season, he had some hamstring problems. He missed about 3 or 4 games, I think, two to 4 games in that range. But he had a lot of struggles with coaching, with his attitude, with just getting separation too at the end of the season. Earlier on in the season, he had a lot of success with Justin Fields with that deep ball, and he was getting a lot of production. But later on in the season, him and Russ just couldn't connect. If you watch those last couple games, he was just dropping a lot of deep balls. He was jumping up. He was looking like Chase Claypool from a few years ago. We all know what happened to him. I think he's played in the Canadian Football League, but I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying that's what it looked like at the end of the season. It was really hard to watch. But anyways, if we could add Deebo Samuel, it would be a huge help for our offense. It's going to open up a lot of different options for us. Open up the pass game with Muth. Open up the pass game with George Pickens. Also, open up that running game. Hopefully, we'll get Najee Harris, Jalen Warren back. But it'll totally open up our offense because having that number 2 receiver in today's NFL is super important. Defensive coaches have decided and figured out ways to really shut down number 1 receivers. And not having that number 2 really just emphasizes just the double coverage on that number 1 and really just limits their options. So even if you think about Antonio Brown, a few years ago when we had him, his best years were when he had Juju Smith-Schuster on the other side, when that offense was just opened up and Big Ben could just sling the rock, And we have a lot of questions at quarterback too, so adding Deebo would definitely take some stress off of whichever quarterback we have. It's looking like Justin Fields or somebody in the draft or free agency. Steelers have been very clear that they do not want Russell Wilson moving forward. I also have seen some reports that Russell Wilson may go to the Giants. So, Big Blue, get ready, Get ready for Mr. Unlimited. We do not want him in Pittsburgh. Just if you want to take a look at the stats of Deebo Samuel for this year, he had 81 targets, 51 receptions, 806 yards, 33 first downs, and 4 touchdowns. His longest rush was also 76 yards. That's a statistic that should not be overshadowed. Like I said, this guy can be used like a running back. He can be used like a wide receiver. He can really be used all across the field. He's a big dude, 6'3". I believe he's about 230. At wide receiver, that's big. That's the size of like a running back. So I would really love to add this guy to our team, especially if we can get him for a cheap trade. If we could just give him a few different picks, late picks, and maybe a player. Maybe a defensive player. I know they're struggling on defense. Maybe trade him an inside linebacker or something. Not PQ or Peyton Wilson, though. Those two guys need to stay. But if we get his trade, get some value. We got the con artist. We'll see what he can cook up. I think if we do get Deebo, it definitely won't be for a lot of capital. I'd say 3rd round and maybe a player, or 3rd round and a few later picks. But, this guy has definitely lost his value in the past couple of years because of his low receiving totals. Sadly, that's what it is in the NFL. Nowadays, you got to have those crazy statistics to get paid. So, but we'll see what happens moving forward. This is definitely a situation that I'm definitely going to monitor, and you guys should too. This is definitely big for the Steelers. Getting that number 2 receiver could be huge. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks again. If you have not already, click that subscribe button. And here we go, Steelers. Let's go 2025. We're getting that 7th Lombardi. Let's go.